The Game Awards nominations are announced, and The Last of Us Part Two receives backlash for dominating. All right, so I want to clear the air on this backlash. There have been some people that have said that the Game Awards are bought because Last of Us has 10 nominations. I completely 1000% disagree, because if anybody remembers, you remember Lord of the Rings. I think Return of the King, when it came out in 2004, I believe they had 11 nominations in the Oscars, and they won them all, I believe, because it was fantastic. Now, Last of Us 2 is a game that was controversial because of its beliefs, controversial because of what was happening within the game of the story, and controversial because the character was skilled that everybody loved. But the thing is that people don't like to watch the reality of a damaging situation, and I think that was the purpose of this, so that you could feel everything that you felt in this game. This game, as we explained and talked about in our review, this game will truly show you what type of person you are, and will truly test your emotions throughout the game.
It's a lot to take
It's
in.
a lot to take in, but it's such a fantastic story-driven, tactical, stealth game.
Immersive.
It's very emotional. It's the script, the dialogue was great. The topics that it touched were great, because it touched pretty much on everything, but there's a lot of misinterpretation on a few of these things. It is up to you to understand what type of game this is and how you view this game. But overall, you cannot deny that overall this game is a masterpiece. And honestly, it is the only game of 2020, and probably the year before and the year before that, that made you feel this type of way at all, or probably get you enraged because of what they're doing in the story and how it makes you feel as a human being. So that's why I say, before we get into the nominations, that this game is the best game that the PS4 actually released. And Gerald, we're talking about The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
We're talking about The Last of Us Part 2. Yes. And yeah, your thoughts on it before we jump into the nominations.
Well, for me, oh, he says that he loved it. Do you see?
Of course.
This is why every time people ask me about The Last of Us and I see people hating, I stand firm with what I think, because there is a group of people that do enjoy Joe Dime made me cry for like 3 hours. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was rough, but
It
it
was
was the
rough.
story.
But the thing is that see, look at, he even says like low key he needed to go.
Yeah.
But for me, this is why I always stand with what I think about The Last of Us Part 2, because we do always find people that are in the same situation as us that enjoyed the game. For
Personally,
me,
sorry, in person, I haven't met anybody that disagrees with my opinion.
yeah,
In
yeah,
person, like
yeah,
online and everything else is like crazy. But sorry, keep going.
yeah. So the thing about this game and why I think
Was insane.
why I think it should win Game of the Year is because this game, I have never had an experience like this while you were playing, because John was playing and I was looking at him play and his gameplay, and we both felt some type of way. And the other beautiful thing about this game is that Neil Druckmann took his time to give us both perspectives. So you saw Ellie's story, you saw what she went through. We meet Abby through Ellie. We hate Abby, but then Neil Druckmann is like, now you're gonna play as Abby. And at first you're like, why are you making me play as this character who just killed such a beloved character? You know, she killed Joel.
And
But
I
then
felt it.
when you start playing with Abby, she ended up being my favorite character in the whole game. And I think that Laura Bailey should win for best performance in a video game. And I've always said that people dislike this game because it is a reflection of how humans are nowadays and how society is acting and what it's leading us to. And
Yeah.
people don't like to see that reflected. People don't like to be questioned about it. And people
Yeah.
don't like seeing the truth on a screen.
I agree.
People need to start separating how they feel about the game and start seeing it from an objective perspective, that this game does not fail in its narrative, and it's in the quality, in the gameplay, in the immersiveness, and in the fact that it gives you a solid story. That I bet that if this story would have been presented on HBO or Netflix, people
Yeah.
would be applauding this video game or this story, and people would be celebrating the fact that it got so many nominations.
Guys, if you want to watch the nominations for the Game Awards, you can head to thegameawards.com, and they already have the nominations of all categories. But I want to read to you five of the few of the nominations that Last of Us and other games are actually nominated in. For example, like Game of the Year, we have nominated Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, also a great game, and Final Fantasy as well. I love them. We have Hades. This is an independent game. Like this is, it's been a surprise that Hades has been here. I haven't played this game. I really now want to play it because I didn't even know about this game at all.
Me either.
Animal Crossing New Horizon. This is the quarantine game.
Yep.
And we got Last of Us 2. That's the game of the year. Best game direction. Again, Final Fantasy, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life, Alex, and The Last of Us Part 2. Best narrative. We have 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. Two more categories I want to mention. Best art direction, Final Fantasy Remake 7, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Last of Us Part 2. Last nomination I'm going to mention, Doom Eternal. Best score and music.
I was like, what's the category?
So yeah, no. Best score and music. Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of Wisps, and The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, these are the nominations. And you see, yes, Last of Us is dominating in 10. Ghost of Tsushima is dominating in 8. Hades in 7. You know, what can you do? What can you say wrong in these games that are in these categories, and the reasons why they shouldn't be nominated? At least they're only nominated.
Exactly.
Just nominated. They deserve to be nominated. I truly think that the games that I know that do deserve to be there are already there, which is Ghost of Tsushima, which is Last of Us 2, and Final Fantasy VII Remake, from what my knowledge allows me to recommend. Now, more games that are there, of course, Hades, which I want to play because of that. But guys, this is it. Last of Us 2 is a masterpiece. Don't surprise you if it wins all 10. And of course,
well, I mean, it is based on the vote of
it is
the
based on the
people,
vote.
so
that
probably
is
not.
something, yeah. And I'm going to be super disappointed because, again, Ghost of Tsushima didn't make me feel a sort of type of way. I'm very emotional, but it didn't shook me to the level that The Last of Us Part 2 did, and I hope that it did to a lot of people. And I'm gonna tell you, if it wins and people say
It was rigged,
or it was rigged, I'm gonna throw a fit. Honestly, I'm gonna throw a fit because no, bro. No.
bro.
If the first one won a bunch of awards because of its perfection on the story, crafting, stealth, and everything else that it made you feel, the second one did it better.